I had the honor of introducing the theme of reconciliation in a service earlier in the month. And as it turns out, I also have the honor of closing that theme today. Reconciliation has to do with dealing with something or someone from the past. We have come to terms with a past act. We have to come to terms with a past action that we did or that we're not so proud of. We have to reach some middle ground with a person or persons we may have hurt in the past. The key here is that it is all in the past, and it was something that has kept us from moving forward. In my first service, I mentioned that irreconciliation, dealing with something that is unreconciled, is like the elephant in the room. It doesn't really have to be an elephant. It could be a gorilla. And since we're an inclusive church, I do not want to leave anyone out. So let's just say that it's something big and alive that we have to deal with, which is almost impossible to ignore, try as we might. I'm going to stick with the elephant though, because I like it. So let's say we're having a family dinner. There is this unreconciled family issue going on for years. You know about it, but you tried to keep it a secret. And thus there is this elephant in the room every time someone tries to talk about it. Here's how the metaphorical conversation about the elephant might go. Is it hungry? They ask. Don't care, you say. Why is it there? They ask. Don't care. Don't talk about it, you say. But it's breathing down my back and it has bad breath. Can't we ask it to leave? No, don't talk about it. Just ignore it. Maybe if we feed it, it'll go away. No, stop thinking about it. But I can't. I want to go and get seconds, but it's blocking my chair from getting out. Can't you tell it to leave? No, just wait. Later, it'll move to someone else's chair and you can get out. Well, you get the idea. The conversation goes like this. And what the elephant does is take up a lot of space and suck all the air out of the room. It has to be tolerated or tiptoed around, but nobody knows why except for you. You don't kick the elephant, or it might just have to start moving and trampling things like your ego on the floor over there. What is this elephant? Let's see what actually might get asked instead during our mythical dinner table. Say, Dad, whatever happened to Aunt so-and-so or Uncle so-and-so? How come we just see them in pictures and never met them? No, they're alive. We just don't have contact with them anymore. Or why don't we see so-and-so anymore? I really liked them. Weren't you friends? Well, we had a falling out, got into a fight, and now we're not friends anymore. You might get asked these questions about estranged family or friends and be uncomfortable talking about them with anyone else. If you're alone, even thinking about them is unpleasant. What is it that you're avoiding? That is the elephant. I'm sure you can fill in your own names here. It is the price of being human to make mistakes, which sometimes hurt people, or conversely, for people to hurt you. There is a story, and I believe it is true, that a circus elephant tied up could easily break the rope that is tied with. But it was chained for so long when it was young that even a skimpy rope is enough to hold it as an adult. Its spirit was broken earlier in its life, such that it believed it could not leave. Have you heard that? Have you heard that story? Even if we wanted the elephant to leave, it might not go of its own volition. It's not happy being all cooped up, watching everyone eat their dinner, being ignored. It needs something more to leave, even if it is sad being tied there. It needs some love. It needs some attention. The elephant here represents our past actions or inactions, something we did or did not do when we should have. It represents that which we are least proud of or ironically most proud of. Some might think that we, the elephant, are able to move for lack of attention. My title for this sermon had many revisions. Some were, "Don't live in the past, there's no future in it," or "In the past, there is no future." Until I settled on the one here, there is no future in the past. And what I had in mind was if we dwell in the past, we will have a hard time moving into the future. This is true, I believe, if we are ashamed or hurt in the past, but even if it was something good in the past, that latter thought might be a tough one to get our heads around. What is wrong with something good in the past? Well, nothing if we don't dwell there. The problem is the dwelling in the past, not the knowing. What does it mean to dwell? It means to get stuck there. And I think unreconciled issues are like quicksand of the past, which keep you there. Here is a challenge. I challenge you to think of any instance where dwelling on something, I mean, after the sour and celebrations, was really good. Can you think of anything where dwelling on a past issue in the past has been good? The past is the past. There's no changing it except how we deal with it in the present. We can use it to hold us back, or we can learn from it to move us forward. The best we can do is realize that the rope that is tying us there is easy to break. We just have to remember who we are and that we have the courage to break and be free. It is in our best interest to move forward. And I'm not here to tell you you should do that, probably because you probably already know it. And if you dig real deep, you will know what you have to do. You just need the courage to do it because it's not easy to take that first step. I would not rule out counseling with a trusted friend or a professional to make that leap. It might mean getting past that original scene and how you felt. It might mean forgiveness or forgetness. And there are complications the longer it goes on. What if the other party does not want to reconcile? What if the other party died? Does it mean you're stuck forever? Oftentimes, forgiving oneself is a major step forward. If you can let something go, surrender, give it to the universe, so to speak, that can be one thing. It might even open up our opportunities that you never even thought of. And if the person died that you want to reconcile with, all is not lost, I believe, because in spirit, there are no limitations. Speak to the spirit of the deceased as if they were still alive. I believe in everything I've told you today. You don't live 71 years and not have some things you regret. But it's funny because most of them for me were before I was 30. The lessons of life are what we're here for. But as my father told me once when I was depressed and felt like a failure, never regret. Learn from it. Do your penance and move on. To improve oneself is the best way to move forward. I close this sermon by repeating the chalice lighting words of Reverend Kirk Lodvinkel. May the light of this chalice illuminate the path to reconciliation. May we use empathy and listen deeply to seek the truth. May we share our feelings and give voice to our needs. If we have harmed, may we apologize, make amends, and seek forgiveness. If we have been wrong, may we consider forgiving and letting the past be the past. And may we all take the next step to reconciliation. Blessed be.